Welcome to KEEPUP News Channel. 48 hours after the election, one thing is clear: the deranged Democratic plot to sabotage Trump has already begun, warns Kennedy. Brace yourself, America, the fight for the future of this country has begun. In the 48 hours since President-elect Donald Trump delivered a schoolyard booty stomp to Wokeistan, one thing has become frighteningly clear: despite unequivocal evidence of an outright MAGA romp, an electoral college avalanche, a rare Republican popular vote victory and a likely GOP-controlled Congress, left-wing lunatics are still clinging to their oat milk latte delusions like Joe Biden to a baby's foot on Halloween. To the progressively deranged, they may have lost the election night battle, but the war is still raging. And with Donald, Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, Lex Luthor, Trump in the White House, it's going to be no-holds-barred brawl. Re-listen to Kamala's concession cackle on Wednesday, and you'll hear her subliminal pitch to be the next leader of the pink pussy hat resistance. We will continue to wage this fight in the voting booth, in the courts and in the public square. The fight for our freedom will take hard work, Harris held over the blubbering of Tim Walz and Doug Emhoff. Someone get these soy boys a safe space. In fact, every Democratic blowhard who ever had designs on the power of the presidency is sounding like Dirty Harry today. We'll fight to the death, said New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy on Wednesday. Chunky Illinois Governor J.D. Pritzker warned Trump, "You come for my people, you come through me." That's a terrifying prospect, given that Pritzker is built like a defensive lineman, who ate another defensive lineman. Coiffed Californian Gavin Newsom, barely hiding his giddiness over his Golden State nemesis falling flat on her face, is convening an emergency legislative session to whiteboard all the ways to blackball the new White House. The freedoms we hold dear in California are under attack, and we won't sit idle, Newsom said. We are prepared to fight in the courts. That's not very promising. Clearly, the Democratic establishment is lining up for their starring roles in the noble Trump resistance. But can America still rely on the patriotic deep state, federal bureaucracy, to keep the ship of state sailing straight? I wouldn't bet on it. None other than Miles Taylor, the infamous anonymous White House whistleblower who penned unsigned screeds from within the Trump administration in 2018, emerged from obscurity to encourage pencil pushers everywhere to sabotage Team Trump. Bureaucrats might end up being the only reason Mr. Trump holds back from doing something unlawful, or at least, if they fail, they will be the only people to tell their fellow Americans the truth, he wrote for the New York Times the morning after the election. Surely, we can rely on the great American mainstream media to sort through all this nonsense and speak truth to these trolls. Just kidding, the squawking heads are even worse at reading the room. Here was professional race baiter Joy Reid on election night: black voters came through for Kamala Harris, white women voters did not. This will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way they interact with the patriarchy, she droned. And it wasn't just those lady traitors who got Joyless Reid and her fellow MSNBCers spittin' mad. Black and Hispanic men are, apparently, the real racist misogynists, according to these left-wing loons. Joe Scarborough, who looked like Lloyd Bridges in Airplane after he picked the wrong week to quit sniffin' glue, explained it this way: it's misogyny from Hispanic men. It's misogyny from black men. It might be race issues with Hispanics. Isn't calling all black and Hispanic men who voted for Trump racist and misogynist, kind of? Racist? The stinking cloud of idiocy quickly drifted from MSNBC across Manhattan to the studios of The View. Why did Latino voters in Texas, a border state mired in the worst mass immigration crisis in the nation's history, swing 27 points towards Trump since 2020? Misogyny and sexism, that's what that was, declared Ms. Sunnyside Up Brains. It's also exhausting, but at least the liberal scolds on late-night TV were funny for once, even though they didn't realize the joke was on them. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hard-working immigrants who make this country go, sobbed ABC's Jimmy Kimmel. Boo-hoo. Go cry yourself to sleep on a pillow stuffed with $100 bills. Fellow unfunny non-comic Stephen Colbert was equally glum. No one gets into this business because everything in their life worked out great, so we're built for rough roads. There you have it, folks, an entrenched Democratic political class that's gearing up for 2028, an out-of-touch mainstream media that can't be bothered to think outside of their uber-liberal bubbles, and an emboldened deep state convinced they're doing God's work by opposing the will of the people. At least this time. Trump knows what he's up against. Source: dailymail.co.uk. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.